Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Walker Bee Ranch. We got another new thing in today, and I want to share it with you. It's still in the box here. So this was sent to from our good friends over at Vevor, and let me see if I can get this set up for us here. And we're gonna see what we got. I know what it is. However, I've heard good things and bad things about using this process, and it was a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier than I thought it was gonna be, which I guess in itself could be a good thing. It looks like some nice styrofoam packaging here. Oh. And there goes the phone. Throw that out of the way. And looks like we've got a mesh screen there. Drop that down in my pocket and see. It looks like it's all together. Wow, this is pretty heavy duty. Pretty heavy duty piece here. It is a Vevor cider press, and what I'm going to try to use it for is for getting the rest of my, I won't even fit on this cooler good because it's bigger than what I thought it was going to be. Well, let's take a look. So it is definitely heavy duty metal, protected nicely. Looks like you got it unspins, and it does, what do we got to do this? We got to, I guess, raise this all the way up. I'm going to actually set it on the ground here, make it a little bit easier. And probably needs a little lubing because the basket is not in place there. There we go. Now it'll come up better. Let's just give that a good spin. And I'm really curious how much extra honey we could pull out of these wax cappings with this. And you do need to spin this all the way out, apparently. To do it. Alright. So there, now it's above the basket. Oh, might have to go all the way up to do this. At least get it out of the bubble wrap so I can just pull it all the way up. And that should come out once I get it unhooked. Oh, it's actually shrink wrapped around. I might have to pull my blade back out again. Go ahead and pop that out. Now that should come off. Awesome. Should be able to take this out. Get the basket up out of this piece here. This piece of bubble wrap. Should be able to just pull that out. Then you drop your basket of cappings in there, and apparently need to loosen this up a little bit so we can slide this all the way out of here. Oh, maybe not. There you go. And that's what we got. So, real question is, how much can we get out? So let me see if I can get some capping set up and see what we can do. It's tri-legged, so might need to come up with a ingenious way to use this for the first time until I get something more permanent figured out. But let's see what it does. Okay, as you can see, I've got some cappings left from my last extractions. These are the most recent. These have been sitting here for a while. So I'm going to take this bag and put it in the presser and see what we got. All right, hold on one second. All right, oh, gonna have to try to set this up a little bit. See what we get here without dumping everything over would be best. Looks like we got to do a little bit of lining up here. We're just going to spin it down. I'm just going to get it to the top there and then stop. Because these have been draining for quite a while, a couple weeks actually. I'm just going to spin it down. One finger seems to spin it. I'm just trying to get it to some, tighten this down to where I can feel some resistance on the bag. And this is not full. Alright, it feels like I'm getting a little bit of resistance, so what I'm going to do, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Need to probably move that back. I need to move this forward a little bit so it overhangs. We're going to open this bucket of honey that I've been working on and see and I've not used this, so I don't know if it's going to give us any honey out of it. I'm going to get my drain here. Ugh. That may or may not work like that. I need to slide it forward. Yeah, that should work right there. Maybe. We just got to be careful we don't. Now I'm just going to start tightening this up to see if we can press any honey. And it looks like we're starting to get maybe a little bit. All right, so we're gonna start cranking down. Let's see if I can crank it down till we get some. Yeah, that's my dog lay over there. And I might need to put more cappings in. Just keep tightening and tightening. Might not have enough cappings in. Or it may have just drained too long. All options that could be happening. If we have to, we'll put more in there. I've got some. Leia, why do you keep talking to us? I think YouTube wants to hear you belly aching over there. And if she'll keep, as long as I keep talking to her, she's going to keep talking to me, apparently. Apparently, we gotta crush this stuff pretty good. I don't see anything coming out at the moment. Which again, these have been draining for a bit already, so So we might just need to add the rest of these in here. See if we can get some honey to flow. Maybe now we'll start seeing something. Or I'm just making a big wax disc. Because right now, I don't see anything coming out. Let's add some more. Might just need some more cappings. Well, it does sound a little sticky. Let's pull this all the way up, and I'll scoop some more in there. And again, these have been draining for a while, a couple weeks on my uncapper. So we'll see if it's quicker with some of the ones that I just did that I know still have some honey in them. All right, so we're up over here. Spin that off to the side. What do we got down here right now? Smashed a flat brick at the moment. And I got plenty of cappings, so let's scoop some more in, see what we get. And what I try to do is, let's see if we can do this without dropping you guys. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if I get my tripod kind of gooey. But I take my bag and I just open it up. I've got some, so we're just gonna scoop them in. Usually I even grab my hands sometimes and just grab the cappings. And we're just trying to compress them down, get some of that gooey honey out of there. Piece of frame in there. Ooh, I know there's some honey in there because I can feel the stickiness. We can feel it. And then once we're done with these cappings, we can take it out there and throw it in the solar wax melter while it's good and hot. And see what we get. If we get anything out of it. Oh, if I don't drop all the cappings from getting it caught on my bag there. Sometimes I even just grab them with my fingers. But I don't want to get my camera all gooey, goopy right now. There's plenty of cappings down here. Actually, you know what? Sometimes it's just quicker to grab them with your fingers. All these caps. And they have some moisture in them. Not a huge amount, because these have been draining for a few days. But we should be able to get more pressure on them this way. So we're gonna see what we got. me clean this out a little bit. Some cappings. Alright, so you guys should be able to see, got a lot of the cappings out. Got a lot of cappings in the bag. I'm just gonna, actually what I probably need to do is pull the other bag out. We use that on the top. So let's see how easy that comes out now that I've smushed it in. Actually, I guess we could, actually there is some honey that is coming out of these, but we're just gonna put the wetter bag on the bottom, and we're gonna fill this up on the top, and that'll add like an extra spacer. Oh wow, there's definitely more volume in there, huh? Go ahead and get this lined up. Now that I got honey all over my fingers, we're going to give it a tightening, if you will. Should compress down really well. Now, oh yeah, there's some honey starting to drip, or I dripped it on there. And right now it's compressed about halfway. See how tight we can get this thing. Oh, there's honey coming. There's honey pressing through. And again, this may work better when they haven't drained as long, but there is some honey starting to come through there. Mainly the bottom ones, right, that hadn't set as long. I guess you can just keep turning, and hope your box don't may or may not drip into the strainer there, but no worries, I always strain it out again anyway, if it even gets to needing a drip. Because if you watched the short I had yesterday, it did, in fact, still keeps churning out the honey drippings off the wax from the table. But maybe you don't have a table. Maybe you just got a bin, and that might actually work better for you, this type of process. And just to show you, there is honey coming out. Now again, these wax cappings have sat here for a few days in the heat, but they are, it is squeezing them out. And I still got plenty of room to turn. So, and because this thing is not attached to anything, attached down, it does make it a little bit more difficult. The one James McNally has, he's got it on some boards, which would probably be better for what I'm trying to do here, because don't want it to spin, you want the handle to spin. And tighten it every time as you're tightening it in. Oh yeah, we're getting honey out. Just took it a minute. Just takes it a minute to squish them out, guys. So, look now. It might actually start flowing. Lots of honey in there still. So imagine the more I tip, the more it's going to run out. Right, Leia? The more we tip, the more it's going to run out. Leia confirms. So look. That's a ton of honey coming out of those cappings. It's almost got the whole tray filled up now. Just about to the point where it's going to start running out of the front. If I tilt it, it would definitely run. I know, that's what I'm saying, Leia. So we're gonna see what we get here. Obviously it's got a lot of air because it's going through a paint strainer bag and through the grates. But there is a good amount of honey in it. So let's see if I can tighten it down a little more. They'll start getting harder as there's resistance. But yeah, there's definitely a bunch of honey in this tray. Bunch of honey in this tray. And then James says you just need to tighten it, and then let it sit for a while, then tighten it some more. But it's just about to start flowing here, guys. Just about to start flowing out of the front. All right, so we're gonna let that sit for a second. And still running out. And just about to start dripping. I know, Leia, we know. And there she flows. So with all of this last harvest should actually end up being more than I thought with all this honey that's in this tray now. And as this honey comes out of here and stops flowing out, I'll tighten it back up some more. And of course you could lean it a little bit, tilt it a little bit to the front, maybe raise the back up a little bit and get it to go a little bit quicker. But right now, it's looking good. See if we can tip a little bit of this up without overflowing the sides. This whole tray is pretty much full now. Now it is frothy with the air bubbles, but those air bubbles should go away. So if you're trying to maximize your honey just from these cappings alone, I might get another half gallon gallon. I don't have a ton of cappings in here, guys, so it's not crazy. But if it fills this bucket up to 5 gallons, that'll give me 10 gallons instead of, you know, 8 or 9. That's an extra $120 worth of honey out of this one series. Now, I'm not done pulling honey. Plus, I'll be able to put some nice dry cappings right out there into the solar melter. So I think this is a Vevor 13.7 quart cider press. And we're running it from the cider press, which is got a grate on it, but it's also in the bigger wax is in a paint strainer bag. I believe someone said those are 200 microns. And then I'm not sure what the grate size is on this cider press. And it does add a bit of air to the honey, but you know, after settling and all, those air bubbles should come out. And looks like, you know, this thing costs around 200 bucks. Vevor sent it to me for free, but for $200, you know, if you're selling $10 a pound, if you get 20 extra pounds out of your cappings this year, well, then you've paid for it. And it's and from that point on, that's extra money you're adding to your apiary. And it is running pretty well, and I got this box tilted forward. Just by the way, I have my stand, by the way. I've got a nuke, 5-frame nuke running crossways on the bottom and a super on top. So let's see, can I tighten it anymore? Looks like I can tighten it some more. I'm just curious how much honey these cappings actually hold within them, because when I ran it down the first time, evidently I didn't have enough cappings. But there's still honey coming out. And now the cappings that I had at top that were dry are starting to get honey out of them too. Ugh, dropped off the edge here of my makeshift stand. So now let's, this is round 2. And I've really got it wrenched down. If I had that, all right, so I pretty much had this tray dry, and now there's more honey running out of the wax. So still able to get a bunch that's still coming out. So again, this is just something that I would probably put my wax, I would set something up like here. I got a 5-frame nuke box, then I got a medium super with frames in it. And this is really makeshift, but I'll probably end up attaching some wood that I can just throw up on top of my uncapping tank there, kind of like James did, and make it work better. But this thing is still leaching honey out. And just to show you, on the top down there, if you can see that, there's some glistening. Those were the dry wax that I tried the first time and didn't get anything out. But it's just slowly squeezing through and filling this up. And not to mention, this thing got here in like 2 days. I mean, they were very, very fast with it. Tray was filling up again. I need to pour the honey back out. I'm sure you don't have to do this. I'm doing this for the sake of the video, y'all. You can just tighten it up, come back later, tighten it up again, keep tightening it up. It'll keep coming out until there is no more, hopefully. Or very little left in the cappings. That's the idea, right? Get as much as you can out of it. This also would save you from having to let all of your cappings drain on some kind of stand ahead of time. You could set them in your uncapping tank, let them drip in there, and then when you're done, just throw them in this press and be able to let the honey flow out of them, you know, squish it out. Probably save you some time. I always take this honey inside when I go inside, and I actually do strain it again through a finer strain. Takes a little bit longer, but I feel like I get most of the bigger particles out here. And then when I go inside and I'm getting ready to put it in the bottling tank, I strain it through another 200 micron to get any fine bits out. There's just still a bunch of honey in this tray. It's just coming out. And as I get my uncapper honed in, I won't have as many, not as thick cappings, not as much honey left in the cappings probably. But I think this is a great alternative if you're looking to get the extra honey out of the cappings. Maybe you don't have a big uncapping tank or something like that. I think for 200 bucks. And think of this. How long do you have to let those cappings sit in there? Some of these cappings have been in there for 2 weeks, and I could have already probably melted the wax on them, right? And there's still honey weeping out of the stainless. This is just, you know, honey's slow to move anyway. But we'll set that back up right. See if we can get some more cranks in now. Maybe. It looks like there's still some honey weeping out of it. So that's another one crank. You gotta put your behind in it. Now my stand is starting to mess up. Oh, get that, just like that. And drop, hold on. Oh. There we go. Sorry, it's typical Walker B Ranch video. You get to see all the mistakes. But look, guys, still getting honey, new honey coming out of those cappings. That's how much honey and air was in those cappings, that it went from way up here, now it's way down here pressed. Look at all the honey coming out. Is it perfect? I'm sure not. However, it's not bad. Not bad. Then you just let it drain. Again, I don't have a ton of cappings, so some of y'all have massive amounts of cappings. This will probably work even better. You know, if you don't buy a capping spinner or something like that. But the tray is still filling up. It is still spinning up. We may have it as far as it's going to go here soon. Of course, the more honey you get out, the more you can spin it down and keep knocking it off your stand like I do. Of course, using my foot, that's probably part of the problem. A little bit extra honey coming out. Let's see. Get the honey to start flowing forward again. Now again, probably if I just kept cranking this honey would flow out on its own. But for the sake of, this has already been 30 minutes of filming, trying to expedite as quick as possible. But this really kind of amazes me on how much honey we waste. You know, I've seen honey in my wax melter before, so I knew there was honey in the cappings. But this thing, for the price and you know, the fact that it's actually working on this makeshift stand, right? I just got it on 2 boxes, and because the one box is longer, I can pivot it easy. But probably be even better if it was attached to a table or something like that. Let that honey just run. So it's definitely not a fast process, guys. However, faster than the 2 weeks that it's been sitting there for the first batch. The second batch is, today's Monday afternoon. I did this Saturday afternoon, so today's Tuesday, I'm sorry. So a couple of days since, so Saturday, Sunday's one day, Sunday to Monday, so this is 2.5 days. And I bet you if I go over to that right now, there'll be a ton of honey in it. Matter of fact, stay tuned to the end. We will pop it open and see after 2.5 days how much honey flows out of the end of the uncapping table. But I imagine this will continue to drain as well. Not to mention, I got it up on its, I have it up on its edge, on the edge of the box, so the front is a little bit higher than the back at the moment. This is getting pretty tight now. But still yet more honey. So pretty much every time I crank down on it, I'm getting another bit of residual honey. And you can see it's a little bit higher on the front than it is on the back. Not a lot, but enough, you know, it doesn't take much for liquid to flow. But yeah, there's still honey draining out. And we're gonna let that sit for a while because I think I'm about at the bottom, and then we'll come back and check out what we got. Okay, so it has been 2.5 days. I did this once yesterday. Let's see what we get out today. That drained out of the cappings. Looks like you're catching the blinky red light from my GoPro. But there is still quite a bit of honey draining from the unlicensed uncapping tank into my strainer, which is going in my bucket, which will eventually go into a customer's bottle. But it's still, I mean, sorry, still solid stream. It's not like a little stream coming out of this thing. So quite a bit of honey is still yet in there. And I kind of try to let it drip all the way till it's done. Just takes a minute, but it's close enough for now, because that's not what this video is for. But you see what it does. Alright everyone, I don't know why this camera is doing craziness. We'll shoot it like this, I guess, for right now. But as far as the Vevor cider press right now, I would definitely say it was worth the money to invest. Over time you will definitely recoup the spending you've made on that in honey out of your wax cappings. So at any rate, that's what we got going on today. Appreciate all you guys. I still got that got it draining in there, and then we'll put the wax in the solar melter and get it going. So y'all have a great day, and we'll see you soon.